we, world?
Is there a world out there?
I think there is. I think the internet's just having a moment today.
I think it is. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Isabella.
Hello.
If you are here, we're just doing YouTube today. We're not bothering with Instagram. It's just you guys.
It's too hot.
It's too hot.
It's too hot.
And you're who we truly love.
2 days of actual heat.
Hello,
and it's
guys.
already
Yeah,
too
how are
much.
we doing? What time is it for you guys? Where are we? Hi, Michelle. I've got the comments down here, which is why I keep...
Sean has told me about a way that you can actually have the YouTube comments up on OBS, but I haven't figured out how to do it.
Okay.
I'm not there yet, people.
We're not there yet.
No. But do we have hang on, blowy things to hand?
Blowy things. Oh, yes, of course. In case we get a new member. We have these prepared, just in case. Hello, Kelly. Dawn is in Irving, Texas. It's 11:04 a.m.
Let's go for it. Dramatic lighting.
Dramatic lighting.
That's a bit better. Hang on. Sorry, we're a little bit behind.
We're just sorting our lives out.
It's been one of them days.
It really has. It's too hot to function today. I know all of you
whopping
people
22
who
degrees.
aren't in the UK are going to be like, it's so cold there, what are you talking about? It's hot for us, okay? Our houses aren't built for heat. They're built to hold in heat. So when it's hot,
our beautiful British bodies
it is
aren't built for
horrific.
heat.
It is not the one. That might be a little, I was going to say that might be a little bit, there we go.
There we go. It's because it's
Hello
flaring on
Keith,
the
how are we
camera.
doing? How are we feeling today? I don't know if you've all noticed, but it is, there.
Oh, actually, can't really see
You
it.
can't actually read it because of the telly.
No!
It is my cat's birthday today.
Yeah.
So everyone say happy birthday, Goob, in the chat. There you go.
Sweet baby angel Goob.
Oh,
My dad told me off for another thing this week.
Right. What have we done wrong
Something
this
else
time?
is wrong with the live stream that he doesn't like. First of all, we weren't prompt enough. So I've ruined that today.
Okay, sorry. Apologies.
And also, what was it? I keep looking down over here at the chat.
Well,
Dad, I'm so sorry.
if you'd like to purchase a second screen for her as
Dad,
a present,
once
that would
you
be
get
lovely.
yourself 1 million followers collectively over every platform, then you can do whatever you want.
Thank you everyone for saying happy birthday to my cat. Hello Boomer Base, hi from Pittsburgh, going on day 3 without power due to storms. Oh my gosh.
My God.
That's no
What?
good.
Because there's been power outages in Spain as well, hasn't there?
there's been stuff in Europe as well.
Wild. Matt, how are you getting on? I'm guessing you guys are a bit more prepared for it than
I was gonna say I appreciate that considering you don't have power, you are joining our live
that's
stream.
quite an achievement.
I appreciate your priorities,
Yeah.
though I am slightly concerned that maybe we shouldn't be.
I mean, if you've got like a solar panel,
that's true.
chargy boy.
That's true. You may have solar power. I feel like we're quiet in the chat. Come on, guys. This is all about you. How are we doing? Have you got any drum questions? I feel like our streaming community is getting so regular now that everyone's gotten their questions out of their system.
That's true. There are only a very finite amount of questions that are drum related that we tend to answer. So there's the same ones over and over again because everyone has the same questions.
We've been thinking of doing streams at different times to see if there's another time in the day that would be more appropriate for you guys. Because obviously this is lunchtime for Americans. It's after work for people in the UK and Europe.
It is the middle of the night.
And it is the middle of the night for Australians. So we were thinking of doing like earlier in the day for us, this time, and then later to see if we can hit all the points, hit all the times. Do a day of multiple streams and see which ones you all like more, and then we can stream at times that actually work for you, rather than just us. Play some drums. Can you play some drums? Is that doable? From that reaction, I'm going to assume no, but we can answer questions.
You would think that after doing so many of these that I would have considered
having
the drums set up. I can't do it today, but I will do it for next week.
We'll try.
Actually,
we'll figure
no.
it out.
Am I here next week? Yes, we are here next week.
We are here next week.
The ones after that. not so much.
Right Chakot says, oh hey, good to see you. Just starting an adventure with drums at 31 with some music background. So happy to watch lots of them drums videos every day.
Yeah, dude.
We're very happy to help you with your journey. That's awesome.
And also, it really helps to have a musical background.
It does.
I can't express
you do have a leg up by doing
the difference between musicians who are learning a second instrument that happens to be drums, and someone who's never played music before.
Yeah,
brains are built different.
You're gonna have a much better time, definitely. Boomer Bass says, I'm curious if it's a thing to rent drum equipment for beginners.
I feel like
you can.
You looked into this, didn't you?
Because we tried to briefly because we were gonna see if it was something that we could offer on our crash course.
Yeah.
To like help people rent drum kits if they just didn't have access to one. But it was going to be really difficult because obviously because we have students worldwide, we can only really do stuff that's like that. We can only really get that involved if you're in the UK because that's where we are based.
Yeah.
So it was a bit tricky, but you can. I mean, if you are a beginner drummer and you want to have access to a full kit, but you don't have the money right now, or like, you know, you're not sure how invested into the hobby you are, you could just go to a practice space and just
pirate
studios.
Are you in the UK or are you in a different country?
Happy birthday, Goob, says Donna. Woo! Yes, I mean, anywhere in the world, I imagine there'll be, you know, music practice rooms, and you'll be able to hire a drum kit with breakables and stuff like that. So you can go there, book a few hours, have a crack on an actual full kit. And then also that's just a good way of like figuring out, you know, they might have a kit that you really like. Yeah. And then you actually know where to start.
Especially when you're a beginner, it's so hard to know. I still don't know fully what I want in a drum kit because I've only tried like my acoustic kit is a Tama, so that's what I've played the most. And I only bought that because that's what they had at uni. So the marketing works, people.
So there you go.
Smart business decision on Tama's part.
Ganesham says, how do I get good in Latin grooves? I feel like maybe you shouldn't answer this question because all of your Latin videos are very controversial.
Tell me about it. Not as controversial as reggae, don't get me wrong.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it goes reggae, then bossa nova, and then everything else.
Yeah.
No. The Phil Collins film might be number 3. People get very angry about that.
There's multiple different answers and even he wasn't really... Yeah. He's not that bothered. It's so funny, isn't it, with these old... I've watched a few interviews of like old rockers like David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. And these guys who absolutely like studied, rinsed, academically, just, you know, people just bark on about them. When they're asked about their technique, they just go, just came out, mate.
Did this. Yeah. It wasn't intentional. No. It was just what they felt right in the moment.
Jammin' Jessie, you know what's up.
Hello.
You know what's up. Don't forget to hit the like button.
And say happy birthday to my cat. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring my cat to Emma's house, but
I wish you could.
He's here in spirit. Yeah. He's currently lounging in the sun, having a great time. None the wiser that it is his birthday. He has no idea. He has no conception of this.
What I love about Goob is the fact that I forget he exists until I'm at your house, and then I'm pleasantly surprised.
You're pleasantly reminded.
Just fluffy shadow comes towards me with eyes, and is my favourite.
Right Chakot says, at Boomer Bass, all you need to start is a practice pad and a decent pair of sticks.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Honestly,
But yes, if you do want to actually try out some drum kits, you should be able to rent a drum kit, but that's more for like tours and stuff, so you're better off going to a practice
I think that there are certain... I can only speak for the UK because Chris knew someone who owned a business who did that specifically. I don't know if it's so much of a thing now, but I feel like probably during lockdown it would have exploded.
Yeah, I can imagine. But then they would have had to try and keep things really clean in between users.
Yeah, that's true.
Keith Sherry says, I have a question. Stick holding styles. I'm a beginner but long time bass player. Playing multiple time signatures in jazz fusion but struggling to get the best way to hold sticks. Don't need power.
You're playing jazz fusion in multiple different time signatures, and stick holding is the thing that's the challenge. I think it's the time signatures and jazz fusion part. I mean, I can only speak for using match grip instead of, you know, your traditional, because it's all I've ever done. I personally don't see any reason. I don't have any use for doing traditional grip. apart from the fact that it looks fancy and makes you look like you really know what you're doing. But I just stick with matched. And in terms of style, you've got, oh god, what is it? Is it French that have got the thumbs on top because they're the French? Weird.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, apologise. But I often find that I hold most of my hand over the top. It's more this gap in here. I just make sure I can utilise that when I'm bringing the stick up, you know. Otherwise, if you've got thumb on top, you're kind of limited by how much the stick can come out. So when you're trying to get rebounds and stuff, it will limit you. But that's all I'd really say, to be honest.
Donna asks, what's the best way to practice whilst you're away? I have a pad with me. What should I practice?
Having a pad is a really good chance to absolutely nail hand technique. I've been doing this recently because even though I've got a electric kit here, the bass drum's still a bit too loud for me, which is sad. But alas, but what it does is because there's no sound really apart from a tap, you can really like just hone in on how the stick feels in your hand. So even if you're doing really simple stuff, you can feel how or where you're holding the stick, how it's bouncing. Any little gripes you've got, you can start to fix those, and it's a really good opportunity to do that. That's what I do.
Michelle H says, what is your preferred kick pedal settings, i.e. spring tension, etc.?
What works? That's generally. I'm terrible when it comes to this sort of thing. I don't like it too heavy. That's the big one. So too heavy would probably be spring being too taut. I think a lot of I've had people who have just not adjusted it ever. So it's either way too like not sprung at all, and so when they hit the kick pedal, it just goes and it stays there, and it just won't come back again. But I still haven't really refined what I like, which is weird considering that I've just got so used to sitting down and playing literally anything.
Yeah.
That it just as long as it's not too heavy, that's the big thing, because then it's a lot of work to get it to work for you. Yeah. Basically.
I guess there is a merit in, whilst you want your own kit to be comfortable and fit your needs, it's worth not being overly precious about that, because you want to be able to play a gig and sit at the house kit and not be like, well, this is not exactly how I want it. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to really struggle everywhere you go. So you kind of want to be able to learn the versatility of being able to adapt to anything that's given to you and know how to adjust it to make it work for you. But
I saw a video by is it 80/20 drummer? Love that guy. He's amazing. If you don't know who that is, check him out. If you're slightly more advanced, he's definitely up your alley. But he was talking about just struggling with some either speed or kick technique, whatever. It applies to everything, but basically he was saying every single issue you're having with your foot boils down to technique. It's nothing to do with the pedal, usually. As long as it's not crazy and you know the spring's missing and it's not doing anything, or it's too taut, so taut that you can't press the pedal and it actually goes anywhere. Minus those two factors, it's down to technique. And also playing as many bass drum pedals as possible by doing different venues or jam nights or whatever, just give you a better gauge on like different techniques. That's why you can then go to practice rooms and then just kind of play anything. Doesn't mean you're always happy about it. And in a lot of cases you're not happy about it, but it's doable, and that's kind of what you want, preferably.
There you go. Jamin Jessie says, I love a fluffy shadow. I have a big chunky orange tabby named Ginger. She's about 20 pounds. I don't know the conversion. She's big.
God, no,
she's a chunky baby.
20 pounds.
Love a big ginger cat.
Look at us being very British, right?
I know.
20
pounds 2 kilograms.
Oh my god, it's a chungus. 9 kilos.
Oh my god.
Woo! Good lord.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful.
Oh my god. Is that kind of the cat where you put your hand on the fur and then you go and you sink in, and eventually you find a cat in there somewhere?
Amazing. Yeah. Transdrummer 1312 says, hello. Nice to see you. Cindy Carve says, most music stores in the US sell used kits, which are most often reasonably priced. Yeah, it's the same in the UK. If you go on Facebook Marketplace, you can find incredibly cheap second-hand kits, because there's a lot of mums selling their kids' kits and they don't know how much to sell them for.
It is tricky sometimes though, because obviously you don't know what
You don't know what quality.
Yeah, if you're a beginner, it's really hard to know. It's a very common thing that people are like, I've seen secondhand kits, but I don't know if they're actually any good. So actually, this is a good point. If you want some advice on which kits to buy, or you're just kind of wondering what to do, book in for one of our coaching calls. They are now closed, but
you can join the waiting list.
Yeah. So it's a free 30-minute chat, as most of you guys in the chat probably know because you're all members.
We hark on about this every week.
Yeah, but for those who are new, there it is.
Yeah.
How many people do we have in? 30. Okay.
We've got 30 people. Right. Ganasiam says, which one do you prefer, coated heads or clear?
I think coated.
What is the difference in terms of how they sound?
I'm kind of just pulling this out of my behind, but coated heads have a more kind of they have more attack. For you, producer.
Okay. Yeah.
It just means it has more.
Really, I would have thought that non-coated would have.
Oh, sorry, I meant the other way. So clear heads.
Oh, I see. They have more attack.
Yeah. I'm not sure if, and also single and double ply have a difference.
Yeah.
Probably a thicker sound in the double ply. But
would you not want more attack? Is that not the goal?
Well, I mean, like, let's say you're trying to do, I don't know, a 70s sound or something.
Yeah. Oh, you want something more soft.
You don't need it to, blow your eardrums off. You just need it to do the boom kind of sound. You don't need, obviously then you could put t-shirts over it, but it's neither here nor there. I prefer, I think, coated heads. I also really like the hydraulic heads. Those are wild. Those literally have oil between the two.
Oh,
layers.
Interesting.
Yeah, they look really cool because they're usually like red or something. It's like nifty.
Interesting.
And they sound super. They're like proper. I don't know how to describe it, but they're very punchy, very gospely, but they're very controlled.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about sustain. So we love that. No ringy toms.
Mahia says, are you two a couple or housemates? Neither. We are friends and colleagues.
But she has just bought herself an air conditioning unit, so we may become housemates.
She may be moving
over the summer
very shortly. Jam and Jesse said, I got my used e-kit from a pawn shop. It was only $280. I knew it was a deal right away, and the shop had no idea. So yeah, mine.
What was the e-kit?
Well done. Yes. What e-kit is it? Jason D says, when it comes to practicing, is there more value in playing with music or rudiments? So many YouTube videos focus on rudiment patterns and hard coding those, like Nate 8020 talks about.
You want to have rudiments down to the point where you're not thinking about them, because then you can apply them.
Yeah, I mean, playing songs will then become much easier.
I mean, then you're pulling from something you can then apply.
Yeah.
Because you can learn songs that have them in with very specific applications. Nothing wrong with that. But you want to have the freedom to be able to just do it.
Yeah.
So it's a mesh of both. You want to learn the thing that you can then apply effortlessly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Within a song context.
Donna says, I did the call. It was a fantastic experience. I recommend you try it. Thank you so much, Donna.
That's great.
Donna will be doing our crash course in June or July, I believe June.
Yes, I think June.
And so I'm very glad that you enjoyed your call with Chris, Donna. That's awesome. Yes, if you are interested in if you need some extra support, just because our coaching calls are closed doesn't mean we're not doing them at all. No. We're just going through the waiting list as and when we have time.
Yeah.
Because it's just been very difficult to juggle it all.
It's tricky because the timings are pretty limited.
Yeah,
because it's obviously we're back to the international problem.
Yeah,
time zones.
Trying to offer times that suit people means that poor Christopher has to stay up till 2 a.m. to accommodate people.
Yeah,
and we can't have him doing that
because he's doing a lot of other stuff.
He needs to sleep. He is the founder of Love to Learn Drums, so he deserves.
He's got other stuff to do.
Apologies for says, Emma, what are your thoughts on double kick pedals? You don't have many thoughts on double kick pedals, do you?
I mean, the pedal itself, I have zero because I have so little experience with actual double pedal playing. The concept of double pedal, love it. Here for it. Never do it, personally, but that may change at some point. We really should talk to a pedal company.
Yeah, I know.
And actually do like a double pedal challenge.
Be like, please give us some pedals.
That could be fun. I would do it.
Jam and Jessie said, I learnt my lesson about single ply.
Yeah, they also dent / break /
yeah, I can imagine.
Like the bottom, the bottom head of a snare drum, that's single ply.
Yeah.
And so good luck getting
Yeah.
however much use out of that. Good for jazz, probably, but...
Dareth Coffee says, who's your favourite drummer? Do you have a favourite drummer?
Me. That's what I say.
You can't say that.
I can.
No.
I just did.
Would it not be John Bonham, considering you did your dissertation
I
on
don't
him?
have... Everyone's good for different reasons. This is a very diplomatic answer, I know.
Yeah. Boring. Give us the true
But
answer.
I didn't grow up with, like, drumming idols so much. I just liked playing drums. I'd literally just sit and play the drums. I don't
Have
really...
you ever found that you were particularly inspired by female drummers, or is that not really
No,
ever fussed you that
actually.
much?
I've never... Like I said, I've never had... All my role models have always been female singers.
Interesting. Like
Weird.
me. What can I say?
Obviously, of course. And you're also my favourite drummer. Because I taught you.
Jam and Jesse says that the kit that he got was, I'm assuming you're a he, you may be a she. I might be
That's a very good point. Please do correct it.
Or a they. You never know. Roland TD02KV, entry-level
Oh.
Roland kit, and it had a Yamaha kick pad and PDP double pedal score.
Actually, yeah, that's a bit of a steal, to be honest. Good stuff.
Ooh. I've clicked something.
It's alright, don't worry.
Oh my god.
You want to make sure that you...
How? Why?
Sorry, if you go very bottom.
I see. Line Povere?
Ooh.
Povere? That's a cool name. Do you have any advice about drumming during pregnancy? Just started my 6 months. Congratulations, by the
Yes,
way.
congratulations.
Just started my 6 months, but still have some gigs before July, and the
Oh my
last
God.
ones were kind of rough on my back. I would speak to a doctor.
Yes. Do not take any of my advice. However...
my initial gut response is probably maybe don't drum whilst pregnant. I just would have thought that that's... I don't know.
No. I mean, as long as you're not straining yourself in terms of energy levels. Gigging can be... It depends on the gig, because as long as it's nothing too hard, and it's not for too long... because that can really wipe it out of you. If you're doing like a function gig and it's high energy, maybe look out for yourself on that one. But I did, one of the singers from the one of the function bands I'm in, she was 9 months pregnant. Girl was about to
Queen.
pop. And she was gigging.
Absolute queen. Oh my gosh.
I would...
Wow.
Was she maybe nearly 9 months? Either way,
my Lord.
ridiculous. So don't let it hold you back, but just check in with the
Maybe
doctor.
just check in with the doctor just in case.
I'm sorry you're getting
assuming
back pain. I'm not surprised you're getting back pain.
Yeah, I'm assuming maybe it depends on the genre as well.
Like I say, it depends on the
Yeah.
gig. So just nothing too intensive.
Yes. Do you like dry hi-hats?
I think I
Asks
quite
Ganesian.
like dry cymbals in general. And I would say dry, more dark.
I like
probably.
darker cymbals and dry cymbals.
Yes.
Yeah. Alan Keith says, ladies, is there any significance in the durability of cymbals based upon their prices? Thank you all so much. I'm 68 and started drumming 3 years ago with Emma's great assistance.
3 years ago.
That means you've been with us basically for the whole of the journey that we've
Whoa.
had online, so that's awesome.
I feel like I've seen your name.
Yeah,
before.
definitely seen your name.
I think so.
On,
yeah.
in
So
comments and
nice
stuff.
to see you again.
Hello.
Ooh.
Yes, is there any significance in the durability of cymbals based on their prices? I mean, I guess
Not
the
really.
general rule of thumb can be the more expensive something is, the better quality it's going to be. But
the
not
quality
always.
of the sound will always be better.
Yeah.
However, you're not supposed to hit cymbals like you're trying to break them.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people do, including myself. And it's not so much about... You get varying thicknesses regardless of the price because that changes the tone. So it really... You just got to take care of all your cymbals, to be honest. It doesn't really change it. Apart from maybe the construction might be better.
I'm sure there's certain types of cymbals that are designed to be more durable.
Super cheap cymbals are usually... I think they're just formed by like strips.
Yeah.
So those will probably come apart very easily,
Yeah.
depending on the metal used as well. But apart from that, I can't really say if it will get better with the price.
Jam and Jessie says, I'm a guy, but you can call me whatever. We'll call you what you are.
We'll call you Jessie.
As your preference.
Good idea.
Michelle says, thanks, lady, I've got to go. I have a drum lesson this evening. Well, that's a very good use of your time.
Oh my god!
So-
Rage Against the Machine and Nirvana. Oh my
We
god!
do 2 hour energy, so oh my gosh.
Girly. Look after yourself.
Have breaks.
Yeah.
Love your content. Yeah, it's me, Matt. Hello, Matt. Love your content. Makes me want to upset my roommates and take my PV set out of the closet.
I think you should do it.
Just do it.
Do
Why
it.
not? You can always ask for forgiveness instead of
This
permission.
is true.
There you
Yes. Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Andrew Jones says, just got back from going to see Everything Yes in Liverpool. I was
Cool.
talking about your legendary jams with Zach Greaves and Grayson at the UK Drum Show in 2023. Everything Yes at the Jazz Cafe tonight. Amazing. We love Grayson.
Nice.
We hung out with him at the UK Drum Show.
2
Not
years ago?
last year.
Well, it was 2023,
but yeah,
I
so
think.
we hung out with him in
Yeah.
2023.
Lovely
and
guy.
yeah, he was super lovely. And I think he may be doing another drum festival next year that we may be also
Maybe. We shall see.
we're supporting.
what
So
happens.
look out
As soon
for
as
that.
we know for certain and know the
What's
details
going on with
and-
that. But yes,
Yeah.
so we may be in the same place once again in 2026.
Yes.
Come on, everyone. We need some more drum questions. Or, as there's less of you this week. Normally we've got about 50, 60
I reckon
people.
maybe the live stream messing up at the beginning might have
Yeah,
thrown
sorry
things a
about
little
that.
bit
I'm not
far
sure.
out.
YouTube decided to just start streaming.
No, I think I know what I did.
I'm
It's
not
'cause
sure
I
what's
started-
happened with
I
that.
started streaming on OBS before I opened the right thing, so I
Yeah.
just started a stream.
Everyone say Emma, Emma.
That's gonna be so mad at me.
Line says, thanks girls, I'll try to negotiate shorter gigs or find a backup drummer for when I'm out. So I was going to say, I just feel like maybe don't risk it because it's not worth the risk.
If you've been playing gigs up until this point, kind of gauge it on
Yeah,
that.
I guess just trust your own body.
But yeah, just make sure you don't get too hot as well, because that's... Don't want to be doing that.
Neither of us have any experience with pregnancy, so
No,
we're not
really
the
sort-
ones
But
to...
maybe you should get yourself a giant pair of earmuffs and put it over your belly.
Yes.
Just to protect and baby.
I never even thought about that.
It'll be fine. Like that side
Would
of
your
things will
baby
fine.
be... Is that a thing?
No, I mean, unless
If you're
it's
in a loud environment,
unless you were
could the
doing,
baby
like-
be affected by that?
unless
Is that
you're
a
at
thing?
like a rave and you've got subwoofers just, you know.
Yeah, maybe that
Apart
probably won't
from
be
that, you're probably fine. But again, Google
But
it.
right next to a
/talk
drum
doctor.
kit, I mean, I've never even thought about that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just don't really give much thought to having a baby personally because I'm 26
She has a cat.
and I have a cat, and
Yeah.
that is honestly that does me fine. So,
Yeah.
but yes, let's know next week.
Yes,
if
I'm
you
curious
find
to
out
know.
any information about this, let us know. Have you ever tried to learn a Tool song? Says Ganesyam.
No,
I don't know
because
if-
I'm not foolish.
Emma is not no, not too much of a prog yow. Jason D says, do you use Easy Drummer or something similar for different kit sounds for your E-kit? Just got Easy D3 and trying to figure it all out.
If I'm recording demos or something and I just need something quick that I know I can edit and sounds good, I use the name has just vanished from my head. What's the options? You've got Easy Drummer, you've got
Well, the kit itself comes with a lot of different
Stephen
sounds.
Slate. There we go.
But you've also got there's a lot of sample packs that you can use to just overlay it.
Apparently babies aren't hurt by the sound of drums because they just float.
In water. Interesting.
That's so cute.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Amazing. Jamin Jesse says, what can I do with my left hand to change up a simple straight 8? I feel like a lot of time it's just waiting for the snare and not being productive.
If you're not doing
Interesting.
the rock hi-hat pattern, like edge, tip, that. If you're already doing that, then actually swap it over. Ugh, really gross. Will just ruin everything.
She does like to give you guys challenges, doesn't she?
Because then you'll get an offbeat accent on the edge, so 1
Yeah.
and 2, and it makes everything sound a bit groovy and a bit more probably disco-y-esque. But you can also do it on the ride cymbal as well. So I highly recommend that.
Apparently, according to Lancashire Liberty, the Pot by Tool isn't too bad to learn. My personal favourite Tool song is Right In 2, and to be fair, that doesn't sound too... I mean, majority of the song is a lot simpler, and then it gets a bit more crazy at the
Is
end,
it a
but
song that's very heavily lyrical / melody led?
It's a lot more... Yeah.
Just that's a song that's up your alley immediately.
Yes, that's why. Well, the lyrics are really cool. The lyrics are really interesting. They're from the point of view of of angels basically going to God, being like, humans are idiots.
Yeah.
And the lyrics are really good. I love it.
Quick question for the chat. Are you more of a lyric listener when you listen to songs, or are you a musician? Like, instrument listener.
Well, I imagine most people probably listen to the drums. If they're drummers.
You never know.
Potentially.
I listen to...
That's true. You're more of a... You pay attention to vocalists a lot. That is true.
I like singing.
As a vocalist, I very heavily focus on the lyrics and vocals. And I actively really dislike songs when they have bad lyrics and bad vocals.
It's more a question...
Even if the rest of the song is really good, if the lyrics are bad, I'm not about it.
See, I don't care. It could be gobbledygook.
I can't do it.
I don't care
if the lyrics are like surface level. There's a time and place for that. Like a pop song that's just trying to be light and fun. Fine, whatever. But if the lyrics are actively bad, I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't care.
It bothers me
Often,
too much.
I don't know the lyrics to songs, even the ones in our own band.
The first thing that I check is the lyrics for like pretty much every song. People saying instruments. I like singing the guitar riffs or solos, even if the singer is still singing. Yeah, I mean it depends on the song. Sometimes there's like a specific guitar riff that I'll sing along to as well. Yeah, most people I imagine would be.
Unless you're a singer, you probably don't care.
Jam and Jesse says he knows writing too on guitar. Yeah, the guitar is really cool for that song. I really like that. I really like writing too also has bongos and like tablas and stuff in it. Nice. I don't know if that's completely correct, but it's got like percussion in it rather than all just drums. Yeah, totally instrument listener here. Yeah, 100%. We don't need singers. Yes, you do. Singers are good. I promise. I'm definitely not biased. Mortal Drum says, "What's up, Emma? Cheers from Quebec, Canada." Hello.
Hello to you in Canada. Canada.
Let's see. Andrew Jones says, "Even if I start something left-hand led, my right always wants to take over and get in back on the right." Any tips?
I feel like, have we done one of the workshop ebooks on independence?
Yes.
Yes.
We have a book called Independence Day by Annie Mumford.
Yes, I love Annie. She's so good.
She's very good.
I highly recommend that. Do we have a link for that ebook?
Not available to download on our website. If you are a member on our website, separate to the YouTube membership, you will have access to that ebook. But just send us an email. I'll just send it to you. I do the emails. I feel nice. I'll send it to you. Oh, hi Ilona as well. Didn't mean to be rude. I was going to say, I'm here too. Thank you. Let's see what else people are saying. George Spencer says, "Have you ever tried an electronic hi-hat that responds well to the edge/tip pattern?" I'd say the F-note ones are pretty good for that.
Yes, they are.
The F-note hi-hats are really good. They're very responsive.
I think
and they have a lot of different samples for the different sections.
The technology in the hi-hats has got so much better. Originally had a Roland TD30, which was pretty good, but it struggled with open hi-hat stuff. And now they're pretty flawless, to be honest. They're really, really good, especially on the F-Note. The F-Note Pro, that was the best one I think I've tried, to be honest.
Andrew Jones says, "Can I buy it? Just that one." Andrew, I'm popping our email in the chat.
Drop us a line.
Just email us. I'll just send it to you for free. You don't have to buy it. It's fine.
As we're here.
And also, you're on our YouTube membership.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, by the way.
Yes, thank you so much.
So, you know what? You've earned it. It's fine.
See, no one's joined the membership today because I wouldn't.
That's because we're being very quiet about it today. The energy's a bit lower this week. It seems like it's also majority members in this live stream, which is another reason maybe why we need to try different times so that we can get to different pools of people. But yes, if you are interested in supporting our content and you do enjoy what we do and you would like to help us keep doing what we do, because social media doesn't make any bloody money. Hold on. Someone's at the door. I'll do the sales pitch. If you would like to support what we do, you can join our YouTube membership. It's only like a few pounds or dollars or whatever your currency is a month. And it really, really helps us continue doing what we're doing. And when you do become a member, this happens. It's very exciting. It's more exciting when Emma's here, but she's answering the front door right now to a package delivery, so she's ruining it slightly, but it's fine. She'll be back in a second. I hope it was worth it, Emma. Oh, but yes, it really helps us if you do sign up. So thank you to everyone in the chat, because I can see tons of members are in the chat today. We've got a few more members now, thanks to all of you guys. So I would like to try and start doing those the member-only live streams very soon, because it seems like this is a good time. So I think maybe what we'll do is we'll make this time. This can be our members only slot.
That's a good point.
And then we can switch
Well,
out
the
and change
thing
out
is,
the other
we'll probably
one.
gain members if we do the different time slot. We'll gain members in the different time slot, so then this won't become the good time slot. But right now,
This is the good. This is the one. Jam and Jessie says, I'm more of a songwriter type. I write my own stuff more than I learn other stuff. I always listen to lyrics, and if the song is unique or has a groove, that just gets me. Yeah, I'm completely the same. 100%. I like stuff that feels really original. I find it really frustrating when a song has incredibly unoriginal lyrics. I just feel like there's no excuse for bad lyrics. I'm sorry. I might be biased because I am a lyricist and I work really hard on my lyrics, and I take a lot of pride in my lyrics being unique and original and interesting and having substance. So when I listen to a song that has just the most vapid rubbish lyrics ever, I just hate it because I'm like,
name a song that
you
has
had
rubbish, vapid
the
lyrics.
opportunity to make this good and you just didn't. You had the opportunity to say something that meant something and you just didn't take it, and that bothers me.
Yeah, but sometimes a song doesn't need to do that.
But that's what I'm saying, is that
Funky Duck.
a song can have, that's the thing, is that a song can have lyrics that don't necessarily, they don't have to have a big, deep, meaningful
The Ketchup
meaning.
song.
That's what I'm saying, is that if the song is original and
Actually,
fun
they
and
have pretty good
clever,
lyrics in
that's
different
cool, that's great. I don't know why we're so blurry.
Sorry, it
Hello.
has moments sometimes where this
Come back!
webcam just has a hissy fit.
Why are we so blurry?
I don't know.
Unblur, please.
We'll be back shortly.
Focus. I don't know how to make it focus.
No.
Is there a way we can make it focus?
No.
Do we turn it on and off?
No.
Turn it off, turn it back on again? We might have to just be in 480p for the rest of this.
It
I'm
won't
really
last
sorry.
for long. We'll get there.
But yes,
Why?
I think if it's like a fun pop song or a dance song, or it doesn't, if it's appropriate. Hello. If
Just trying to reset where the focus is.
Yeah. If it's appropriate to the genre. There we go. If it's appropriate to the genre and stuff, that's not the issue. I think it's just when the song is like clearly copying something that's already been done before. You're not really trying to make it your own.
Yeah.
Or it's just rubbish.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just bothers me. There's a song in particular that came out very recently, but I'm not going to name it because it'll be controversial. Because they're an incredibly popular band.
Is it all 30 people in this chat? We're going to absolutely
because this goes out on the internet afterwards. They recently released a song. They've got an upcoming album, and the lyrics are just. There is a line at the beginning of the second verse that's like, literally the lyrics are, I know that this song and the chords are boring, but I can't always be changing the game. And I was like, oh, what is that? No.
See, I'm completely the other way. I like
the lyrics were literally like, I know that this isn't good, but I don't care. I was like, that's terrible. You can't write that as a lyric. That's so bad.
They did. I'm sure they're going to make loads of money.
I know. I was just so disappointed. If you know who that is, chat, let me know. Let's see what people are saying. Jam says it's tabla in writing too. Yeah, that sounds right, because it sounds like tabla rather than
bongos.
Serving My Jesus says, as a Christian socio-political songwriter,
I never
the
would have
lyrics are
guessed.
important. Yeah, I mean, your name is accurate to what you do. Yeah, I think lyrics are very important. I mean, ultimately, music is about communicating and connecting, and I just feel like if you waste the opportunity on bad lyrics, you could take a really good song and make it great with good lyrics. Hold on, let me scroll up. Where are we at?
That's too far.
Line says, Emma, I saw some videos from the Bag Show in Paris.
Oh, yeah.
I went only once a few years ago, but was kind of disappointed. What did you think on your side?
It
looks really good.
It is really good. I think what people underestimate is how small it is.
Yeah.
Because it's in the foyer of a theatre, and then they've got all the show going on in the theatre. So the main attraction is the performances going on.
Yeah.
And obviously I got a lot from it because it's all in French. So the drumming was good.
Drumming is good.
But yes, it's a very small show and very loud because it's very marble coated everything.
Yeah. Michael Bennington says, hi from the US. Hello.
Hello.
What do you think about electric drums?
Well, seeing as I've used
I would
them
argue
my
slightly
entire life.
biased on this front.
Why you say that? I it's not a question of do I prefer one over the other? They both serve different purposes.
Yeah.
Like I I've got to the point now, I think, where I need an acoustic drum set up and I don't have one. I think that is now to my detriment. But like the F Note Pro and stuff, they are so good that you're just kind of like...
They also look great. I mean, that doesn't matter, but they also look great.
I'm really excited to see what they kind of come out with.
Yeah. I feel like when we're getting to the point where electric kits look and sound so good, and they have the added versatility of recording being so much easier and mixing being so much easier than a live kit.
Yes, that's the mix.
There's definitely a lot more artists and bands that are taking electric kits on the road when they're touring instead of acoustic kits.
If you're a pop act, it just makes sense because you can just
so
change
much
the samples.
easier. I mean, setting that up, your drum tech's going to have a much easier time, and also your monitor engineer is going to have a much easier time.
No tuning, no nothing.
Your front house engineer is going to have an easier time. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can just have all the settings ready to go. Bang, done. You know, there's no tuning, there's no this, there's no that. Everything's already preset as you want it. I can imagine that if you're doing a massive worldwide tour, it's just the logical solution, really.
Sure, yeah.
Lord Extrasus says, when you get blisters on fingers, is it too much drumming or wrong hand technique or not enough drumming? That's a really interesting question, actually.
I can only speak for myself, but I think I only get blisters if I haven't played intensely for a while and I'm playing for a long time and my hands are sweaty. So it's kind of it's more a compounding thing, so it's like just your hands have gone a bit soft, basically.
I would have thought that your hands, like...
You get calluses and stuff, but most of the time you shouldn't need them because your technique is good enough that you don't...
Yeah, but
really...
do you not...
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if I haven't played for a while and I do an intensive gig, I'll probably get one the next time I do a function gig because it's an intensive gig, and I'll get one probably here.
Yeah.
Usually.
That's
and
where
actually I get one here because it's holding on to that pressure in there.
Yeah.
So that's usually where I end up getting them. But it really just depends on technique. If you're getting them quite quickly, then maybe look at your technique a little bit. You might be holding on to the stick too hard.
Lancashire Liberty says, I just spent £300 on a Pearl Export. What is a Pearl Export exactly?
That is basically...
Is that an electric kit or
no,
an acoustic kit?
It's like... there's another kit that's also like a Yamaha stage something or other. Like they're just very popular drum kits that are actually a really good price range, and they are sturdy. They're just really, really good. And that's, I'm pretty sure, quite a good price, to be honest, for a Pearl Export.
Yeah.
So good on you.
Gemma Jessie says, hey everyone, join the membership please. I love this. We should just bring you onto the stream to just do all our advertising for us. Don't show the shipping label on your
no.
thing. Lancashire Liberty says Promark versus Vic Firth and Remo versus Evans.
I'm not very brand loyal, to be honest.
Emma is not a brand loyal gal.
I haven't used enough Remo heads. Am I using enough Remo heads, or was it Evans? No, I haven't used enough Remo heads.
Evans feels like a very standard go-to that a lot of like house kits and stuff tend to have. So I feel like that's probably the one that you
everyone
use
and their
most.
mum. And with
do you use Promark or Vic Firth?
Well, Promark sent me a bunch of stuff a long time ago now.
I should hit them up again for some free sticks.
Yeah, I've been using them, and they feel like sticks. Much like Vic Firth do, really. Yeah. So at this point, it's so easy to mass produce decent sticks.
It is worth saying that for Emma's birthday a few years ago, I got her some of the Fire Grain Promark sticks, and they are very nice.
They are very nice. Aesthetically, they're very nice too. The only ones I didn't really like were the coated Promark ones, and they were specifically for grip, and they actually gave me blisters. Yeah. So I didn't get on with them personally.
Jam and Jessie says, that's good. Your criticism is what drives your creativity. You do a good job channeling that and expressing within. That's what that's all about. Thank you. I appreciate that. I would agree. The thing that drives me a lot with my songwriting is being like, my perfectionism being like, well, this isn't good enough. This needs to be amazing and life-changing, and I need someone to listen to this song and be mind-blown. And if they're not, then it's not done. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel that. Gannis Yam says, Ilona, which is your favourite genre? Haha, I'm starting to get questions now. Yes. The assimilation and the takeover. The coup is happening.
Fine by me.
Slowly but surely. I don't know if I have a favourite genre, to be honest, which is a really boring answer. But I would say I'm quite eclectic with my favourite genres. I also jump a lot between what I like to listen to. I have a big I feel like this is something that comes from going to a music uni. Obviously anyone can have this, but you really gain an appreciation for every genre when you study music, because you understand the value that is in all of it. And like when I was in college and school, I was quite snobby, being like, only this kind of music is cool, and I was a proper little pop punk emo kid, and I was like, if you listen to pop, you're boring and basic and lame. And I think it's just that we had a lot of bad pop for a really long time, and that was probably what it was.
Put a veto on Ed Sheeran, it's true.
We've now got really good pop artists in the scene at the moment. You know, the last few years, it's recession pop. That's what it is. You know, for some reason, pop music really thrives. I think it's probably because everyone needs some good positive energy, because we're all poor and miserable. So, you know, Chapel Rowan, Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter. There is some incredible, also female pop artists that are, you know, really blowing up at the moment.
Yeah, while
and the songs are incredible. You know, I'm saying
the songwriting is amazing.
The songwriting is amazing. Like Sabrina Carpenter and Chapel Rowan write such incredibly cleverly written songs, super unique sounding,
Billie Eilish,
beautiful mixes. Yeah, exactly. Billie Eilish. You know, you put those songs in headphones and you're transcendent. Like, it is fantastic.
Harry Styles takes a break and all of a sudden this happens. It's wild.
Harry Styles is also really good. His pop music is fantastic.
10 years ago, I would not have thought
his solo music is
that.
really good. It's so well written, and you can tell that that artist was buried under One Direction for years.
At uni, the style I gained appreciation for was country music. Because
I don't know, that's the one genre that I'm still a little bit, I haven't touched that area yet.
From a production point of view, it is, and songwriting actually, it's so, like Mark puts it this way, diatonic. It's so in the key that it's not budging, but it's so good.
Country music is incredibly catchy.
Carrie Underwood has my whole heart. And people would say that's not country. I know.
But I would say, I mean, the genres that I tend to lean towards are heavier genres.
Yes,
so I'm an emo at heart. I don't know if you couldn't
Could
tell.
You tell?
But, you know, I like heavier genres. Some of my favourite artists, let me think of my favourite artists. So there's classics like My Chemical Romance, right? But then I really like stuff like, I really like stuff like, I like Knocked Loose. I recently saw them in London at the Underworld, and they were really good. They were very, very good. And I don't always go for super hardcore stuff like that.
Just because your boyfriend is...
Yeah, my partner really loves heavy music, like super heavy stuff, and a lot of it really goes over my head, but then there's some stuff that for some reason I really enjoy. I love Turnstile. Turnstile are really good. They're like... They're hardcore, but they're like a really fun pop hardcore. They're a really fun band. They're a very good fusion of multiple genres. I'm trying to I mean, it just goes immediately out of my head. All of the artists that I like.
The thing is with me, all of my favourite artists...
Phone? Let me see. I can go on my Spotify and see what I've been listening to.
They're old and crusty. They've broken up, or they're dead. It's like, there's just no in between. All the tickets are £200, if not more. It's just... It's wild, really.
I just tend to listen to a lot of individual songs rather than like
these days.
Oh, I'm being dumb. Carnival, literally one of my favourite bands of all time. I discovered that they exist properly. I mean, I already knew a bunch of their songs, but like I actually deep dived them at the end of last year, and they have become one of my favourite bands of all time. Their first album, Themata, is a literal masterpiece. 0 skips. Highly recommend. I really like Ariana Grande. I actually think that Ariana Grande is really good. I think she's got such... Again, for me, I love great vocals. Is generally what drives my admiration for various... So my music taste spans so many genres because ultimately in the common thread will generally be that the vocals are really, really good. So I love Hosier as well. Incredible music, but also incredible vocals and incredible lyrics. Watsky is one of my favourite artists. He's like a spoken word rapper. So you see, it's super...
so funny.
It's all over the place, but he is so good. I highly recommend him as well. Sorry, I went on a massive tangent with that question. Apologies. Let me catch up with the questions. Lancashire Liberty says, lyrics are just the furniture, same with the guitar. It's bass and drums that are the foundations. Sing about your cat for all I care. I think it's just individual to each person. Like me, I find lyrics and melody really, really important. But then other people, they don't. It depends on you as an individual.
If it's fun to sing, I like
and what
it.
speaks to you.
I find songs that don't really, unless I'm in a specific mood, like ballads or really, like, why I don't like Ed Sheeran that much. Granted, he's a really good pop writer, but like same 4 chord sequences, I don't care what you're singing about. I can't. I can't. Adele, I'll deal with it because it's fun to sing, but like, it's just, no.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Jammin' Jesse says, I think the subject matter doesn't matter. It could be a song about a cat, but it should be written as well as possible in the context of the song. Sometimes you can sing about
There is
features
actually a
from
song about a cat. Freddie Mercury wrote a song called Delilah, and it's about his cat pissing on the furniture.
But again, it's all down to personal taste, isn't it? Music is so subjective to each individual. That's why it's so amazing that there's so many million different types of music and different types of listeners. That's why if you're ever worried that if you're a songwriter and you're trying to make your own music, I should take this advice really, because I've not been working on our music very much.
I've been busy
recently.
working on Love to Learn
I've been
drums.
busy working on this instead. But you know, if you're ever like, oh, well, who's going to listen to this? If you enjoy it, then there's statistically someone else out there is going to enjoy it too. So just put it out and your audience will find you. Alan Keith says, other than Emma's wonderful instruction, when I'm playing, I often find a melody running through my mind. Is this proper and normal for a drummer or not?
I have that.
I get that as well. I find that it helps, again, as a vocalist, I find it helps me anchor to what the hell I'm trying to play.
I play.
Yeah.
Often. Instead of counting, once you know what you're doing.
I sing what I play a lot as well.
Yeah. Like when I sound it out, like
yeah. I did that loads when you were teaching me Criminal, because I found it easier to do it that way. Andrew says, I wonder if the ganglion cysts on the back of my hands come from drumming.
I don't think so. Probably not. I can't, obviously I'm not a doctor.
Lancashire says, as a punk drummer, E-kits are the devil. Jard says, is it better to convert my drum kit to an E-kit or just buy an E-kit? What do you mean by convert your drum kit to an E-kit?
You can I think
an acoustic kit
well,
to an
I
E-kit?
think you can get triggers that you put on there, and then you can have like a MIDI trigger. But
I see.
honestly, just get an E-kit and use it as a MIDI trigger, because you can just do that. It's built in, usually, depending on kit, but usually.
Lancashire says, I actually use those Rebound Pro Marks. That's good to know. And then Andrew says, the active grip on the Pro Mark goes minging.
Yeah, active grip. I think that was the one. It was like, what is this?
Andrew says, Alan Keith, Zach Grooves had us singing Mary Had a Little Lamb yesterday whilst he played. Oh, I love that. Jam Jesse says, yes, I always say that I can find a lesson, good or bad, in any song or genre, and I can always appreciate how hard it is to get any song from an idea to a fully mixed song. Completely agree. Ultimately, it is not easy to make music, and there is going to be thought and care put into every song that is created. So that's another thing, is that, like, you know, even if the lyrics aren't the strongest part of the song, there will be another element of the song that was clearly more the focus, and you can appreciate it for that, if that's what you care about. If I left to my own devices, I love Tool and Opeth and heavy metal stuff. The new Arch Enemy album is awesome. The song A Million Suns is my heart. I can't comment. I've never heard of Arch Enemy, unfortunately, but I'm very glad that you like it so much. Richard Ives says, love your content, guys. Off to my drum lesson. I love that everyone has a drum lesson. In a few minutes, loving learning. Korean Bagel, great name, says, happy Friday, hello.
I think we've had Korean Bagel before.
I think we have. I recognise the name Korean Bagel. Galiciam says, Ilona, how was your journey throughout drumming? It was difficult. I had no confidence. If you want to see the full journey, you can. There's a whole series of it on our YouTube channel. 4 weeks of Emma teaching me drums.
She taught.
I did do well. I will say so myself, and it's also very funny to watch back, because our amazing editor Bex did a wonderful job editing it, and it's hilarious. Basically just laughing at me for being so miserable for the whole thing. I just really struggled with confidence throughout the whole series, because I'm really bad with comparing myself in everything that I do to other people who are better than me. It is the worst trait I have, because it just keeps me miserable all the time. And I had it really badly because obviously one of my best friends is an incredibly wonderful drummer. So I was like, oh, I'm so rubbish, I can't play it.
I'm literally teaching. It's my job.
I know. But I'm one of those people that if I'm not instantly incredible, naturally talented, God-gifted at something, the first second I try it, it's just out the window.
It was just because there was the pressure of you had to do it for a month.
What's worse is when I think I'm really good at something for a long time and then I discover I'm not. Oh, terrible. Absolutely terrible. I used to do artwork, you know the canvases I used to do?
Yeah.
Where I would do like yarn in canvases. Oh, there we go. We've got an example right here.
Very topical.
Very topical. I used to do this all the time. This is
what. Grab that one from up there.
This is wool.
My one.
Oh yeah, I did this one as well. And it's like into canvases, and I got really into doing this for many years, and I made ones for all of my friends.
Thus, there's two here.
And then I discovered that other people. I just did this. I didn't find it online or anything. I just started doing it, and I was like, oh, I feel like I'm pretty good at this, and I was refining it. And then I found someone on TikTok who was like, I've been doing this for 2 weeks, and it was immediately so much better than anything I'd ever done in my entire life.
This is why the
shading,
bad.
like different structures of how she did the sewing, and I was like, well, I'm just never picking up this hobby ever again. What is the point? She'd probably done
sewing and other stuff before.
I
doubt she'd never done art, especially.
I was furious, quite frankly. I was like, well, I'm binning this hobby off because I'm never going to feel adequate enough. So there you go. Sad. I am a quitter, guys, fundamentally.
A hater and a quitter.
A hater and a quitter. That's what happens when you have anger issues. Line Pouveret. I feel like I'm not saying this correctly. I'm really sorry. Line. I'm just going to call you Line. Or Linne. I don't know.
Linne.
Have you ever suffered any injury because of drumming? Have you actually?
There's nothing serious. Thank you, Lord. But there's been occasions where I've hit my knuckle and I've bled all over the drums and stuff like that. Because your heart is pumping as well. It really just everywhere. And when you've got the adrenaline as well, it doesn't hurt too bad. The only thing that I got concerned about for a while was I started getting pain and tension in here, and it wouldn't go away. And I was like, oh, God, is this like carpal tunnel or something? No, it's just because I'd played too much Minecraft with the wrong mouse. So I had to
That's an incredible excuse.
And so this muscle in here was tense, so all I did...
You heard it here first, kids. Minecraft. I
had this for like
it's not good for you.
Ages. And I just did this. And like a sore muscle worked out, and I was like, oh, all that worry for nothing. So yeah, that's the only thing I really had, I think. And also, my heart goes out to anyone who has ever played drums while wearing shorts and hit their thigh. Whoa. Thoughts and prayers, a moment of silence for those people, because oh my God, that's pain.
Yeah,
that's whoa. But yeah, other than that, I've been very fortunate that I'm okay.
Lindsay Buffington Drummer says, how can I still have a productive practice if only practice for 15 minutes? I need to rest my left arm.
Well, you can do stuff without pad. You can do like coordination exercises. There was one actually in the board video where he talks about playing 8 notes in the right and then 8 notes in the left. 7 over and over again. It's better explained in the video. But that's just an exercise you can do to improve coordination, basically, and just limb independence and kind of timing independence. And you can just do it on a kitchen counter and tap if you want to. So there's stuff like that you can do. Or you can just work on foot technique, or you can work on right hand technique if you really want to. Stuff like that.
Ganesyam says, I saw you were struggling to get flams right. He means me in the series, but it's fine. It takes time. It certainly bloody does. I just can't understand the difference between 2 separate hits and a flam. Like, I conceptually get it, but also physically when I do it, I'm like, this sounds...
If you hear it and you go...
It just sounds the same to me. I'm not going to lie. Just feels like the same thing. I just don't get it. Jam and Jessie says, you can't let that one savant stitcher throw you off. It's too late. It's been like 2 years since I've done it. I just gave up. I think the last one was for my partner's mum. Made her a little one for Christmas, and then that's it.
What was on it?
It was a really simplified version of the Hogwarts castle, because she loves Harry Potter. And it had fairy lights in it like your one does.
Love that.
That was something I did enjoy, was integrating fairy lights into.
So cool.
So I would like hot glue. I'd do little holes and then stick like the little heads of like LED fairy lights in, and then hot glue them in place, because you could use cold glue so it wouldn't like affect it. And then you can tuck the battery pack into the back of it, and then there you go. You have a little twinkly light. Have you got the other batteries working on that one? I can't imagine they would be. It's been a hot minute since I made that.
I'll have a look.
Mr. Numbnuts says, I fell off my drum throne during a solo back in the day. That must have been a very enthusiastic
That's a
solo.
very intensive solo.
Yeah. Did you get back? Did you continue doing the drum solo?
I would. I think that'd be hilarious.
Just
I'd do it
stand.
from the floor.
There has been times I feel like where something's gone wrong with your chair and you've just stood up and just carried on playing. Has that happened before?
Maybe. There was one time I was playing a theatre show.
Oh,
And the top of
you
the
said
stool
that
fell off.
you had to do a
As Master of the
wall
House for
sit.
Les Mis, and I had to wall squat for this song. Fortunately, it's
That
not
sounds so
too long a
painful.
song, but it was just I was laughing so hard that the people in the row
Yeah.
closest in the audience were looking at me because I just couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only time really. Oh, and also
Would have been great for your core strength.
There was
though.
one time I did a gig and I forgot my drum stool, so I was on this rickety chair.
Yeah.
And it was this wooden chair, and often on stages there's no back. There's just no back, regardless of how high up you are. There's just a curtain and then a void. Lord knows how much space is behind that. So I've had chairs shuffle back and like your bottom leg just goes,
Oh god.
you know, or you just sink for a moment. You're like, oh. So yeah, things like that.
Lynn says, it's actually pronounced Lynn. Sorry, Lynn. I've been calling you Line this whole time. I do apologise. I will call you Lynn from now on.
I'm sure it's not the first time it's happened.
I'm so sorry. People get my name wrong all the time, so if that's got any consolation, I've had many people butcher my name
Ilona.
horrifically throughout my life.
Ilona. Yeah.
Paul Walker says, I spotted Emma in a photo that my son shared of a recent recording session. I have been learning drums for about 18 months since Joey left a kit at home. Weirdly, I was using Emma's tips. Thank you. I love that your son moved out and you were like, drum time. It's my turn. I love that for you. That's brilliant.
Cool.
Jam and Jessie, I'm thinking about getting a head practice pad that straps to my thigh and just wearing it all the time in my wheelchair. That's a great idea.
That is a really good idea.
That's
actually.
such a cool idea.
Get,
you should totally do
you
that.
Get the little baby ones that you strap to your leg.
I love that. Is that similar to those, there's like mini tambourines that they strap to your foot and you can tap?
No, it's literally, it goes around
those.
your thigh, and it means you don't have to have a drum, stand.
Oh, I see.
And I think
That's pretty good.
it's okay. Yeah, if you're doing traditional grip, that would probably work quite well, but I feel like matched might be a little bit.
Yeah.
what's
Jesse,
it,
you're
but-
going to become an absolute weapon of drumming in no time.
Yeah,
I
man.
love it. Just Play asks, Ilona, do you teach vocals? No, I don't have the technical knowledge to teach vocals. I haven't actually really ever studied it. I've had some private lessons just to help with my technique, to make sure that my breathing technique and stuff is good. So I'm not... Because when I was first gigging when I was a teenager, I wouldn't be able to get past like 2 songs without basically completely running out of breath and my stamina dying. So I'm self-taught majoritively, and then I learnt some exercises from a teacher so that I was doing it healthily. But otherwise, I don't actually know what's going on. I couldn't explain to you scientifically what's happening or give you advice. All I would be doing is regurgitating what I learnt in my lessons, and that's it. So no, I can't charge for that because I don't know what I'm talking about.
I have the same problem of running out of air. So I often wonder if, like, growing up doing so much swimming, I actually gained extra lung capacity.
Yes, definitely.
As
Swimming is a
an
great
extra.
exercise if you are a vocalist because it does really help with lung capacity.
Also, core strength from drumming.
Yeah.
So you kind of win-win.
Yeah, I couldn't teach. I've always just taught myself, basically, I'm very good at mimicking other artists, hence why earlier I say a lot of my music taste just stems from my admiration of great vocalists. If the vocals are great, I'm probably on board.
Here for it, yeah.
Because I love really interesting vocals and good vocals, and I like trying to imitate them, and then I will inherently teach myself whatever technique it is they're doing without even realising.
It's how some of the best singers have learned.
Yeah, when I started, having some lessons to help with my technique, I remember that my teacher being like, "Oh, so you're doing this," and I was like, am I? And she was like, yeah, you doing this thing, this technique, I don't even know what it was. And I was like,
amazing. Yeah.
Sure. I just sang a lot of this song, and I guess I just learned how to do that.
That actually happened with me with doubles on the drums. I just rocked up to a lesson one day, and I got to the point on a grade where it's like, oh, we're doing doubles now. Do you want to just try it? And I just nailed it.
You were like, oh, I was already doing that.
Oh, that thing, and just got it.
Oh, I didn't know it had a name. Yeah, so much of my
Yeah.
lessons was me being like, I didn't know this had
I
a
will
name.
never forget his shock. It was same happened with heel toe technique on the drums, like the like fast pedal. He was like, that's not fair.
You're like, you can just know how to do it.
Yeah.
But I guess there's some things that you just naturally stumble across and you don't even realise.
Yeah.
Ganasiam said, I accidentally hit my thigh once. It really hurt.
My thoughts and prayers are with you. It's it's rough.
Mr. Numnut said, my backrest came loose, but it was an applause at the solo, or my fall. Maybe a little mix of column A and column B.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Jesse says, yep, it's the baby one. It could be a nice drink holder when not in use.
I love that.
Functional as well.
You put a little magnet on the bottom of it on something and just...
With a little magnet on the cup.
Yeah.
Bang, that's a great idea. Jumphead said, got the PDF from you on what to practice. I was thinking about taking a printout, but then I realised there's a lot of inner links in it. I would just, what I would do, so we've created a page specifically that's like black and white and a bit more printer friendly so it doesn't use up all your ink. So just print that page alone and then write on it based on, digitally look through all the ebooks and see all the different stuff. And then just write manually out how fill out the table of how you want to do it. Please consider making a concise one to make it easy to print. So that's the point of the print only page. It's just so you've just got one concise page that you can print, and then the rest of the book is designed to be used digitally. We don't really have any physical prints of any of our books. It's incredibly expensive and difficult.
We would do it otherwise.
Well, we'd do it otherwise because I'm sure there's people who would love to have physical versions. A lot of people, But also, because we can only really have access to ebooks, we try and lean into that and really take advantage of the fact that in an ebook you can use links and videos and all of this stuff that you can't do in a real book.
You can get
we could do QR codes, but it's not quite the same.
You can hear the notation, but also sometimes, often it links to the actual video of me teaching how to do it. So it's kind of a hybrid of ebooks, but you can still print the ebooks out.
Yeah, you can still print any pages that you think would be useful to you out. You don't need to print out the whole thing. Just print the pages that are useful, and that's it. Right, we've run out of questions and the hour is up, so I think we're gonna head off.
We're gonna call it.
I think we're gonna call it, but it's been very lovely hanging out with you all.
Yes, lovely to talk to you all again.
It's basically been all of our members. So it's been very nice to hang out with you all again. Thank you so much. We will be streaming again next Friday at 5 p.m. UK time, 11 a.m. Central US time.
Yes.
The week after, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing because we're actually in Berlin for a video shoot.
This is very good.
So, and we're travelling home on the Friday, so I don't know.
What time are we? We're evening, aren't
It's
we?
late in the evening, to be fair, so we do have a bit of extra time. So we could do a live stream, but it will
probably be packing down.
The times might be slightly different. I'm not sure.
We shall see.
The internet's a bit dodged there. We will find out what we can do, and we will let you know. But otherwise, we will see you very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching.
And have a wonderful evening, rest of your day, sleep, all of those lovely things. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.